Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our weekly video. Today, I would like to do a little bit of a morning yoga. It's middle of February, so it's a little chilly outside. The winter's been with us for a while. And I think the bodies are feeling it. Here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're ready for the spring. So I think the kind of a slow yoga easing into the day would probably be something that we could all enjoy. Let's try. So first, I would like you guys to stand up, and we're gonna do a little bit of a back exercises. So I'm gonna turn myself in a profile so you can see definitely the alignment, just the usual thing. Standing on both feet, placing your feet underneath your hip bones, getting your spine tall, just to the best of your ability. No stress, but a little effort, right? So place your hands high on top of your spine. Make sure the lower back is curving. Make sure that everything feels kind of in its places. And taking a breath in. Take your time bringing your arms up. And make sure your shoulders do not come up at all. Now the next inhale, let's take a little back bend. And as you exhale, put your hands together in a namaste. Let's take 2-3 breaths there in a namaste. So this namaste thing is gonna squeeze your hands together, point your elbows down towards the floor, and definitely widen up your clavicles right here. The next one I'm gonna do facing you guys. And we're gonna inhale, arms up. Next, inhale, back bend. Exhale, namaste. Try to balance yourself in this namaste thing, kind of centering your whole body in the middle, right where the spine is. And one more, breathe in, expanding the arms, expanding the lungs, expanding your energy. Exhaling, namaste again, here we go. And just one more time. Now when I do it, I would like you guys to pay attention to the back bend, which I'm doing a very modest one. And I think it's working for me. So my back bend comes from my shoulder blades. It never comes from my lower back. My shoulder blades kind of bend there, right? Everybody's capable of bending there. Some people more, some people less, but you guys will feel it when it happens. Tilt your rib cages a little bit forward and bring your shoulder blades down towards your lower back. And this way you're gonna achieve that really a stretch in the back, which I call the back bend. And then we're gonna relax the arms down. So this time we're gonna bring both arms up again. Do one more back bend, a modest one, just because it's morning. So we're gonna release the arms, we're gonna bend your knees slightly, we're gonna drop your heads. Let your backs kind of get into a bending position, a forward bend position. Breathing. Breathing is always good. No matter what position the body is in, it's always beneficial to breathe. As you expand the lungs, the body kind of stretches itself out from within. So it's good to challenge yourself to take full breaths, even in positions where it feels like the body is compressed, and slowly start coming up. So what I meant by challenge is by all means not forceful kind of a challenge, but check in with yourself, check in with how you feel, how the body is doing, and make sure that everything in your body is in agreement with what you're about to do. Yeah, that's important. Now, a couple more standing things I would like you guys to do. You're gonna bring your legs together now. You're gonna breathe in and bring your left arm up. And as you exhale, let your body to stretch itself laterally. So it does not mean that your hip is gonna just come all the way to the side. You're gonna lengthen and bend over. Next, inhale, you back. Right arm up. Again, make sure that the shoulder stays down. Exhaling. Lengthening, making spaces between the ribs, keeping your hip in place on top of the leg. And breathing back. And one more time. Inhale, X. So the arm, it should be slightly in front of your face, I'd say. Again, check in with your shoulder. Make sure the shoulder is in agreement with the arm placement. Breathing in. Get tall. Arm up. Exhale. Checking in with the other shoulder. And since we only appear symmetrical, but we're not really symmetrical, both sides will feel a little bit differently. And both arms, you guys will have to find the position for the arms that they almost belong to different people. Breathing in and exhaling. Again, arms up. Again, that back bend happening. Again, that forward bend happening now. The arms really hanging. The legs are slightly bent. See if you want to go down a little bit more, maybe a lot of it more. See how it feels today. Next, exhale. See if you guys want to go down a little bit more. So I'm turning myself in the profile so you guys can see what I'm creating here. The kind of shape my back is taking is really feeling good for my lower back because it's rounding, for my middle back because it's rounding as well. Normally my back is not like that. And my shoulders, the weight of my arms pulling the shoulders down, and the shoulders are pulling the shoulder blades down as well. So since we're all in one piece, letting the body to get heavier on one side allows that whole side to stretch out. And it's really a matter of time how long it's going to take before you start feeling it. Next, inhale. Let's start coming up. And I know usually the balances in a yoga class come at the close to the end, but right now I think we're kind of ready to test ourselves out. And let's see how it goes. Getting your spine tall, just kind of expanding the ribs like in that stretch, but not exactly. Getting your backs a little bit wider, shifting the weight on one leg. Let's put your hands on your hips, just extend the other leg forward with your foot flexed. Try to let the air in and out, and just observe this air kind of moving your spine, moving your whole body. And as you exhale, let's put that foot down again. Take your spine over the standing leg, shifting the weight on the other side. Again, lengthening ourselves, extending this other leg with your foot flexed. Calmness is what's going to carry you through all those balances. If you feel like you're falling off your foot, it's probably the alignment. Most likely is because your spine is off the leg, so to speak. Right? Absolutely must have even hips, even shoulders. This position is going to get you in trouble. And put both feet down on the floor. The last forward bend, we're going down. Arms up. Now bend again. And exhale. Go all the way down if you feel like it. If you feel really adventurous, and I'm sure some of you are, make a yoga tola with your index and middle finger. Grab your big toes. Pull yourself down. The legs are pressing down. Feet pressing down. Arms are pretty straight. If your arms are on the longer side, bend your elbows. See if your back allows you to take this position. Even though you got your big toes off the floor, you have still the weight of the body got to be down and forward, down and forward. And undo that yoga tola thing. Bend the knees, slowly come up. All the way up you go, tall, wide back. Notice your breathing. Notice how much more openness you should be experiencing in your shoulder, in your chest area. And let's get you guys onto the mats now. So getting you onto the mats, I'm just gonna adjust myself a little bit here so you can see me better. And I'm gonna start with getting myself on my heels. So if this position is no way, no how, I got this pillow here, which I'm gonna put right in between my knees and see how that goes. Oh, much better. It actually is much better like that because my weight is kind of rested on the pillow. Makes my legs happier. And as I mentioned before, it's morning time. Usually it's not really good to do something strenuous in the morning like that as far as stretching and weight bearing things on the body parts that are not used to it. So if you're not used to doing those kind of things, but you want to learn how to do it, if your ankles feel a little funny as you put the weight on them, if your knees don't bend so well, if the quads are pretty tight, that's the way to go. Try to get the pillow really in between the knees and slowly shift the weight towards the heels. Have your hands down on the floor first, bending the knees slightly, just kind of sinking. What helps is to separate the knees. Sometimes it feels a little better if the knees are separated, and then the sits bones kind of land in between your feet. My back is kind of round right now just because it makes me put less weight on my legs like that. So once you guys kind of get acclimated with putting the weight on your quads and definitely on your ankles, you can straighten your backs, get your lower back to its curve, and even bring your knees together if it feels good. Now, as far as the ankles go, if you guys feel like this is how you want to be it. Do what feels good with your ankles. Don't force your feet to do what the feet don't want to do. Just be gentle, and eventually your feet and your ankles will get stretched to the point where they need it to be. So after sitting like that for a little bit, if it still feels good, let's go like that. I'm going to separate the knees a little, and I'm going to shift my weight a little more back. This gives me a big stretch in the quads, opening in the hip flexors. And here I am going to show off, get the pillow out. I am separating my feet. I'm allowing my sits bones to touch the ground. And I think that's where I want to be today. So every day is a little bit of a different day. And today, I feel like my body needs a little more tender loving care around the leg area. So I am touching the floor with my sits bones. I'm not putting too much weight on the sits bones just because I'm a little tight in the lower body, but that's okay. Most of my weight are on my arms, and as you can probably see, my arms are a little bent, shoulders down. I'm just gonna stay like that for another 2 breaths. And when I feel like it's time to come out, I'm gonna shift my weight gradually. So the key to not injuring yourself, no matter what workout you're doing, in my opinion, is to proceed with consciousness and controlled movements. Never ever jerk yourself out of the pose, especially when you do yoga. That's not good. And at this moment, so I got myself out of this stretchy thingy, I'm gonna cross my legs, yoga style now. And I'm gonna get myself into my namaste again. Arms up. Exhale. So that sitting namaste is much easier now, right? Again, if you have trouble letting your knees to relax, letting your hips to relax, pillow is your friend. Stick it underneath your sits bones. If you have a yoga block or anything like that, that would help as well. And now the twists. So as I mentioned before, it's morning time, and all my movements gonna be slightly subdued. My range of motion is gonna be less than what it could be if it was evening. I'm gonna take a big breath, and with an exhale, I'm gonna twist to my side. So I'm gonna lengthen my spine, bring my breastbone forward. Wherever my face goes, that's where my forward is. One hand in front of me, the other hand is right behind me. I'm looking over my shoulder, and both of my shoulders pressed back. Now my body weight is very important. The whole body weight is shifted forward. The next inhale, I'm back. Exhale, I go to the other side. Same way, I'm slightly pushing my back hand to propel my breastbone forward. My shoulders go back. I'm looking over my shoulder. My legs are totally relaxed, by the way. I know it's a little tricky to keep track of all those body parts at once, but it's kind of like Rubik's Cube or like Jenga or whatever game you want to think of. It gets real intricate the more you become aware of the body. But it's a lot of fun to keep it functioning the way you want it to function. And relax. Now I'm gonna ask you to switch the legs. Arms up. Next exhale, let's go into forward bend. So release your head forward, release your torso. Take a few breaths. And right now, I would like you guys to do those twists one more time. I'm gonna turn my back to you so you can see what it looks like from the back. I always say, yeah, hand is in the back, hand is in the back, but what does it mean? And here I go. So arms up. Here I go twisting. See, I'm trying to place my hand right next to my tailbone, and that's what's gonna give me a right pull in the shoulder. Now my breastbone is forward, my other hand is right in the middle of my mat. And with the back of my arm, I'm actually pushing my back forward. And I'm relaxing here, coming back to the center. I'm going to the other side. Arms up, exhale. Here I go, yes. Making an effort, but not to the point where it feels like, oh man, I can't breathe. I'm making just enough of an effort to feel like, wow, it's constant and it feels good and I can stay like that for a while. And still, I got something to do because every breath is taking my body somewhere else. So it's a constant adjustment, what I'm dealing with. The body surprises me, I surprise the body, and we kind of work together in that surprise mode. And I'm exhaling, coming right back. So right now, I am trying to lengthen my back a little bit more, especially right here in my upper back and where the upper back connects to my neck. It may seem like I'm doing absolutely nothing, but I actually am doing something. So to conclude our session, I would like everyone to go into the forward bend. And right now we're gonna do pretty much the same thing what we did standing up. So let's flex your feet, you guys. Bring both arms up. And again, if it doesn't feel good to sit like that, stick the pillow underneath the sits bones or a block. Let's make yoga tola with the index and middle finger, grabbing your big toes. And here you go. Forward bend. There's so many ways to do this forward bend, and it's such a great thing. I just love it. So one of the approaches that I usually take is, first I just let my body go there and see what does the body want. What does it say? Then I make adjustments according to what message I got. Like today, I feel my legs a little on the tight side, so I'm flexing my feet a little bit more. That gives me a big stretch in the calves. I'm also pulling my torso forward with bending of my elbows and releasing my shoulders. That gives me a big lower back stretch, like pretty good stretch. And at the same time, I'm trying to get my breastbone down towards my legs. Must relax the neck so the weight of the head goes down. Shoulders, they're doing nothing. They're just resting. So let's try it all together. Exhale. Pressing the sits bones into the floor or whatever you're sitting on. Bringing yourself down and forward. And breathing. And with the next inhale, let's come up. Again, lengthen yourselves up. Take a few deep breaths into your lungs. Remember, your lungs are in your ribs, in your rib cage, not in your stomach. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today. Enjoy your day.